She looked like she belonged on a farm, not a battlefield. Faded jeans, work boots, calloused hands from ranch work. But when Maya Chen picked up that unfamiliar rifle and made an impossible shot at 4,200 meters, everyone realized they'd been looking at this small-town girl all wrong. The question that haunted them wasn't how she made the shot. It was who she really was and what she'd done to earn the call sign that made enemy snipers disappear in the night. Maya's weathered pickup truck kicked up dust as she turned off Highway 25 toward Copper Canyon shooting range. December air carried winter's bite, and the Wind River Mountains stood like silent sentinels against a pewter sky. She'd made this drive every Wednesday for 8 months, always arriving early to avoid weekend warriors who treated the range like their personal playground. At 26, Maya Chen looked older than her years. Dark circles under brown eyes that had seen too much, black hair pulled back in a practical ponytail, lean build from hard work rather than gym memberships. The shooting range had become her therapy, recommended by Dr. Marcus Webb during their sessions. Pete Garrison emerged from the range office, gray beard streaked with white, Desert Storm veteran ball cap pulled low. He'd run Copper Canyon for 18 years. "Morning, Maya," he called out. "Cold enough for you?" "Just right," she replied, shouldering her rifle case. Her grandfather Chen's words echoed in memory. "A rifle is not just a tool, little one. It's responsibility made manifest." 4 college-aged men were unloading expensive gear from a new SUV. Jake Morrison stood at the center, blonde hair perfectly styled, wearing fresh camouflage. "I'm telling you, Tyler, it's all about the equipment," he was saying to Tyler Brooks, a nervous young man with thick glasses. "My father's new Barrett M82 could put down an elk at 900 yards easy." Connor Walsh nodded enthusiastically while struggling with a heavy rifle case. "Jake's been shooting since he was 10. His family owns half the hunting lodges in Johnson County." "Excuse me, miss," Jake called to Maya with condescending politeness. "Are you here for the beginner safety course?" "My buddy Tyler might need company in the remedial class." Maya met his gaze with steady eyes that had stared down Taliban fighters. "I'll manage," she said quietly. Inside, Linda Garrison smiled from behind the counter. "Your usual lane, honey." Maya signed in and paid for lane 20, the farthest from the college students. Her weapon was a simple Remington 700 that had belonged to her grandfather, wooden stock worn smooth by decades of use. "Range is hot," Pete announced over the loudspeaker. "Maximum distance today is 1,200 yards due to atmospheric conditions." Jake scoffed loudly. 1,200 yards? My grandfather could make shots longer than that with iron sights. For the next hour, Maya worked through her practice routine with mechanical precision. Each shot maintained muscle memory and breathing control that had kept her alive overseas while providing meditative focus that quieted mental chaos. The college students made more noise and achieved less success. Jake's boasts about equipment weren't translating into accurate shots, and his frustration grew with each miss. "This scope must be off," Jake complained after his 6th miss at 700 yards. "There's no way I'm shooting that poorly." Dr. Marcus Webb arrived at noon, carrying his M1 Garand from Army days. At 63, he moved with careful precision. Webb nodded to Maya, noting her relaxed posture and methodical approach. "How are you feeling today?" he asked during a break. "Better," Maya replied. Webb understood that progress came in small increments. By afternoon, Jake's shooting had grown worse as frustration mounted. He'd tried 3 different rifles, convinced equipment malfunction explained his poor performance. Tyler was actually outperforming his boastful friend. "I don't understand this," Jake said loudly. "I've been doing this for years. These ranges must have problems with their setup." Pete had enough. "Son, you're jerking the trigger and holding your breath too long. Equipment can't fix technique." Jake's face flushed. "I know how to shoot. Maybe this place isn't set up for serious marksmen." "Is that so?" Pete replied with an edge. "Maybe you'd like to demonstrate this serious marksmanship." What followed was costly equipment producing mediocre results. Jake managed 400-yard targets with reasonable consistency, but anything beyond revealed his limitations. Other shooters gathered to watch, drawn by his boasts. The audience made Jake more nervous, and his shots grew erratic under pressure. By late afternoon, Pete's patience was gone. He'd watched 15 shooters attempt various distances with mixed results, But Jake's complaints had created frustration affecting everyone. "Any snipers here?" Pete called out in exasperation, because apparently nobody else can hit the broadside of a barn today. Before we continue, please comment where you are watching from, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. From her corner at lane 20, Maya Chen set down her coffee and stood up. Maya's movement caught everyone's attention. Jake turned, expecting another weekend enthusiast about to embarrass themselves. Instead, he watched a slender woman in faded jeans approach with purposeful stride. "I'll give it a try," Maya said simply. Jake's eyebrows shot up. "You're joking, right?" "Lady, I've been shooting competitively since middle school, and even I'm having trouble today." "I mean, no offense," Jake continued patronizingly, "but there's wind shear at distance, atmospheric pressure variations, parallax issues. Maybe you should stick to closer targets until you've got more experience." Maya didn't respond. She walked to the equipment rack and selected a standard Remington 700 in .308 Winchester, checking the bolt action and examining the scope. "That's a decent rifle," Dr. Webb observed, "but it's not zeroed for you. Could throw off accuracy significantly." "I'll adjust," Maya replied, checking balance and length of pull. Pete moved to the control station. "What distance you thinking?" 4,200 meters, Maya said without hesitation. Complete silence. Even Jake stopped fidgeting. 4,200? Connor squeaked. "That's over 2.5 miles. 2.6 miles, actually," Dr. Webb corrected, studying Maya with new interest. Jake laughed uncertainly. "This is ridiculous. Nobody makes shots at 4,200 meters without specialized equipment, perfect conditions, and years of training." Pete looked uncertain. "Maya, I've got targets to 1,800 meters maximum. Winds gusting to 15 miles per hour. Visibility isn't ideal." "Can you set something up at 420? Maya asked calmly. "Just something visible." Pete retrieved an orange safety cone. "There's a ridge at about 4,200 meters. I could drive out and place this, but spotting impact would be nearly impossible." "I'll spot for her," Dr. Webb volunteered, producing a high-power spotting scope. Jake shook his head. "What's your background? Where did you learn to shoot?" Maya's expression flickered with something like pain. "Here and there," she said quietly. Word spread quickly. Within 45 minutes, 36 people had gathered, including Luis Ramirez from her grandmother's ranch. Luis had served in Iraq and recognized something in Maya's demeanor, the calm focus of someone tested under fire. "You sure about this, Miss Maya?" Luis asked quietly. "A lot of folks watching." "I'm sure," Maya replied, making minute scope adjustments. Jake appointed himself commentator. "See, extreme long-range shooting isn't just about aim. You've got bullet drop, wind drift, Coriolis effect, temperature variations." "Coriolis effect is negligible at this range," Maya said without looking up. "Bullet drop will be approximately 47 feet. Wind drift depends on reading environmental conditions in real time." Jake's mouth fell open at her technical accuracy. Dr. Webb set up his spotting scope as Pete confirmed target placement. Orange cone on ridgeline, 4,250 meters by GPS. Maya took position, adjusting the bipod. Her breathing slowed to the controlled rhythm learned at Fort Benning. Through the scope, the distant ridge was a hazy line. The cone appeared as a tiny orange dot. "Winds shifting," Dr. Webb reported. 10 to 12 miles per hour northwest, not consistent, getting thermals off that south slope. Maya nodded, reading conditions that would affect her bullet's 3.2-second flight. She chambered a .308 round, found the trigger, applied pressure to remove slack. "This is impossible," Jake muttered with less certainty. Maya watched wind patterns in vegetation between her position and target. Years of combat taught her to read signs casual shooters missed. She took a breath, released half, held. Heartbeat slowed. Crosshairs steadied slightly left and above the cone, compensating for drift and drop. The trigger broke cleanly. Rifle bucked against her shoulder. Muzzle blast echoed across the range, followed by silence as people held their breath. Dr. Webb watched through his scope. 3.2 seconds felt like eternity. "I see dust," Webb said suddenly. "Impact." Jesus Christ, she hit it. The cone moved. She actually hit the damn thing. Silence erupted into chaos. Jake's face went pale. Tyler stood agape while Connor fumbled his phone. "Let me see that scope," Jake demanded, reaching with shaking hands. Webb blocked access. "Give her a moment," he continued, observing. "Cone's definitely hit, tilted 40 degrees right." Maya remained motionless, processing the shot sequence. Everything had felt correct. Pete's radio crackled from the target area. "Well, I'll be damned." Dead center hit, took a chunk out and knocked it sideways, got the fragment right here. The crowd exploded, but Maya simply worked the bolt, caught the ejected case, examined it briefly, then began making the rifle safe. "Where did you learn to shoot like that?" Luis asked quietly. "Various places," Maya replied, avoiding eyes as she removed the magazine. Jake approached, arrogance replaced by curiosity. "That was incredible. What kind of military training did you have?" The question hung like smoke. Maya's hands stilled briefly. A pause Dr. Webb noticed. "I should head home," Maya said, cleaning the rifle. "Chores don't wait." Pete returned with the damaged cone. "Young lady, I've run this range 18 years. Maya, we should talk soon. That level of skill comes with costs that sometimes need professional attention." She met his eyes briefly. He saw something confirming his suspicions. "Maybe," Maya replied, then moved past him. Jake wasn't finished. "Wait, please. I was wrong about your abilities, but what you did is textbook impossible. You have to understand that." Maya paused at the door. Something in Jake's genuine humility made her turn back. "Nothing's impossible if you understand the variables," she said simply. "Wind, temperature, humidity, pressure, target movement, ammunition, rifle characteristics, shooter stability. Account for enough variables accurately, and the bullet goes where you aim." "But how do you account for variables you can't measure?" Tyler asked with genuine curiosity. Maya's expression softened slightly. "You learn to read signs. Vegetation movement, dust patterns, heat shimmer, bird flight paths, shadow patterns. Everything tells a story if you know how to listen." Dr. Webb nodded. "Environmental awareness at that level is specialized military training." The comment drew veteran approval, but attracted attention from newcomer Clint Rhodes, Donovan Westfield's ranch foreman. Rhodes was compact, wiry, with calculating eyes. "Quite a show," Rhodes said neutrally. "Word travels fast when someone makes news like this." Luis positioned himself between Rhodes and Maya. The men had history over water rights disputes. "Just target practice," Luis said evenly. "Nothing newsworthy." Rhodes smiled without warmth. "Military-level marksmanship from unexpected sources makes interesting conversation, especially from people with specialized backgrounds." Dr. Webb stepped forward. "Mr. Rhodes, you're making unwarranted assumptions. Miss Chen demonstrated excellent shooting, nothing more." "Miss Chen of the Chen Ranch on County Road 47, Rhodes replied, making notes. "The property bordering the Riverside development area?" The question hit like a blow. Maya's face went expressionless. Controlled blankness soldiers learned during hostile interrogation. Luis moved closer. "What's your interest in the Chen property?" "Just neighborhood awareness," Rhodes replied smoothly. "Mr. Westfield likes staying informed about activities affecting business interests." Pete had enough. "Show's over. This is a business, not a town hall. If you're not shooting, clear out." The crowd dispersed, but Rhodes lingered, studying Maya with calculating assessment. She met his stare directly. "Give my regards to your grandmother," Rhodes said, departing. "Rosa Chen's quite a community pillar. Shame if anything disrupted her peaceful retirement." The subtle threat was unmistakable. Luis stepped forward, but Maya caught his arm. "Thanks for the message," she said levelly. "I'll pass it along." After Rhodes left, Dr. Webb approached again. "That wasn't about shooting. That was reconnaissance. Someone's very interested in you and your family." Maya nodded. "The Riverside development. Grandmother's been getting pressure to sell land connecting the resort area with Westfield's ranch holdings." "How much pressure?" Webb asked professionally. "Enough she's losing sleep. Phone calls, lawyer visits, hints about tax assessments. Nothing overtly threatening, but persistent." Luis spat. "Westfield wants that land for tourism development. Can't build his resort without connecting river access to his main property. Your grandmother's 80 acres sits right in his planned route." Maya's demonstration had attracted unwanted attention. revealing surveillance extent she hadn't realized. As she walked to her truck, Jake called out, "Will you be back next week?" Maya paused, considering implications. Returning meant accepting attention her skills generated. Staying away meant abandoning therapeutic routine helping her cope. "We'll see," she said, driving into gathering Wyoming twilight. The quiet ranch girl seeking healing through therapeutic shooting had revealed capabilities that would change everything. What they didn't know was that Ghost, the call sign earned through demonstrated willingness to do whatever missions required, had been hiding in plain sight. As Maya drove toward her grandmother's ranch, familiar responsibility weight settled across her shoulders. She'd come to Buffalo seeking peace and anonymity, hoping to heal from combat experiences in relative obscurity. Instead, she was being drawn into another conflict threatening not just her fragile stability, but her grandmother's lifelong home and the community providing sanctuary. Her grandfather Chen had told her before her first deployment, "The most powerful weapon any warrior can possess is the courage to be exactly who they were meant to be." Tomorrow she'd decide whether Maya Chen, the ranch hand, could continue existing, or whether Ghost would emerge to protect what mattered most. Tonight, she was just a granddaughter coming home to help with evening chores, carrying secrets that could reshape everything if the wrong people discovered them. The transformation from anonymous veteran to community protector was about to begin, whether she wanted it or not. Because some people are meant to be weapons, and the only choice is who gets to aim them.
I just want to take a moment to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you. Folded hands, your love, support, likes, comments, and subscriptions mean the world to me. Without you, this journey wouldn't be possible. Every view, every share, and every encouraging word keeps me motivated to create more content for you all. I'm truly grateful to have such an amazing community by my side. Let's keep growing together and making this journey even more special. Red Heart.